don't want to be out in the car today. It's our first snowstorm in November. And now it's 43. Let's see. 32! I just felt it in the air. It's cold outside. Oh my heck, Veda. It's winter. The life in the day of Laramie, Wyoming. Oh, hey guys. Just got back from my snowy adventure. Okay. Oh, it's rolling. Hey, welcome to my kitchen. It's Thanksgiving time and we are going to make a mock Thanksgiving for a crowd of about 50 students. A lot of our students have already started their trek home for the Thanksgiving holidays. We are going to be making sausage stuffing. I've already cooked and pulled 3 turkeys. I've roasted them ahead of time because I was running out of time. So 3 turkeys in a container look like this. We're going to go ahead and make mashed potatoes and gravy. I'm gonna make my fresh cranberry orange relish, pumpkin bread for dessert with whipped cream and different toppings, traditional green bean, no casserole, just green beans, butter, and good spices in them. Our local area has this apple cider, so I'm gonna do 4 jugs of apple cider, 2 jugs of Sprite, and I'm gonna have a little bit of spice to go inside of that, cinnamon and clove and things like that. It's time to fire up the stove to make the stuffing. Well, technically, it's called dressing because we're not stuffing a turkey with this stuff. You're gonna melt 3 sticks of butter over medium-low heat, and while that's going, wash and prep 2 full stalks of celery and prep your 2 large onions. For this dressing, I like to use my food processor and process it until smooth. These 2 ingredients will just disappear into the dressing, and the flavor will be so classic Thanksgiving. Your house is going to smell so good. Just put the Macy's Day Parade on in the background, and you'll be in full Thanksgiving mode. So add some poultry seasoning to this melted butter. I added about a tablespoon, I'm guessing. I just sprinkle it in until it smells right. And soon you're gonna cook this down for about 15 minutes, and a lot of that water will be cooked out of it, and then you'll know it's ready to put in your bread cubes. For the base of this dressing, I'm using 2 bags of bread cubes from the store because that was all they had. So I had to depend upon 2 boxes of stovetop from Sam's Club. Wasn't sure how it was gonna taste, but it ended up being really good. We're gonna go ahead and fry up 4 pounds of sausage. So this container holds 16 cups. And if you're always wondering where I got these containers, they're mayonnaise containers from the food services. And I just reuse them because they're food grade. So I have this much turkey broth left, and there's a little line of fat. Keep the fat. I'm gonna add the rest with water. Whatever we don't use in our stuffing, I'm gonna add to the gravy. It's so gelled. It has so much healthy, yummy collagen. It was like jelly. You're gonna get this great taste and flavor from the sausage. It's really good to add into your stuffing. I went ahead and buttered 2 service pans. Get the sides really good, the corners. First I used a paddle to get it mixed up. It's pretty hot. And then you add in a little broth at the time. There's a good clump. That's a good example. Like if you went like this, it would clump. That's what you want. Probably about 10 cups of broth. Get in there with my hands. My hands are clean, I promise. Divide up the dressing between 2 pans. You'll see here that it was about 16 cups or a little more maybe. We're gonna go ahead and cover this up, put it in the fridge. When we get to the building tomorrow, we're gonna put at least 2 sticks of butter melted on top of this, and we're gonna bake it off, and the top will get crispy, buttery. You're gonna love this stuffing. I rinsed 4 bags of Ocean Spray cranberries and zested 3 large oranges. reserve that zest and set aside because we're going to use it. Then I cut up the oranges into quarters because that's what fits in my little zester juicer. So I got about a cup of juice from these 3 oranges. I use my food processor to gently pulse these cranberries. I don't want them to be super smooth. I like the texture. Some full berries are in there and it's really good. All right, 1 cup of juice of the oranges, the zest of 3 oranges right here. And you'll see what I'm gonna do with this a little bit later. But to this, we gotta add sugar. We gotta sweeten this stuff up. This is a 4th cup. So I'm gonna do 4 of these. I know it sounds like a lot, believe me, the canned jelly stuff has a lot more. And this is 4 bags, so it's like a 1/4 cup, and the bags are like a 12-ounce bag. I'm gonna mix that up a little bit. Because what's going to happen is the sugar is going to macerate the cranberries. So while that works its magic, I'm going to show you what I do with these. And just take my shears and cut off some of this pulp. Don't get any of the white pith. I just like a little bit of this pulp in there. You don't have to do this. It gives it another texture, and it's not hard to do. Here's the zest of 3 lemons. Now we're going to add the juice. You're going to let this sit in your fridge at least overnight. And then the next day, you're going to taste it. If it's bitter, just add a little bit more sugar. Okay, look how beautiful this looks. Yum. For a crowd this big, we are going to shortcut because I don't have the bandwidth right now to make a bunch of rolls. I'm using frozen rolls, and you dip them in melted butter, put them on the trays, let them rise for 4 hours, and they turn out cotton fluffy. Okay, I'm gonna make 3 different types of pumpkin bread with our Krusteaz mixes. One's gonna be just a chocolate chip, one's gonna be a pecan, and one's gonna be butterscotch. Because we are high altitude here in Laramie, I need to add 2 tablespoons of water in addition to the water asked for in the recipe. Each box contains 4 packages. 2 packages will fill 2 of these oversized loaf pans. Stir on low. Cup of water plus the 4 tablespoons of additional water for our altitude. I've got 4 eggs. A cup of oil. It's looking pretty dang good. First, we're going to do the butterscotch chips. So I measured out 2 cups, which was just 1 package. Okay, I think that's enough. With these mixes, I like to let the mix sit in the bowl for about 5 minutes. It helps it to rise just a little bit and rest. The batter has rested for 5 minutes. You can see that it's kind of fluffy, a little bit risen. I'm going to go ahead and distribute. Try to divide it up evenly. Okay, second batch is going to be the chocolate chip. Scrape the bowl. Now this is going to add the chocolate chip. So this chocolate chip is just 1 bag, so it equals 2 cups. Missing chip. Here's a cup of pecans. Half of the ones with nuts in them. 50 minutes. Okay, I had enough mix to make another batch of plain pumpkin spice bread. So I'm going to use a basic streusel recipe, but I'm adding a teaspoon of pumpkin spice to it. So what it is, it's a 1 1/4 cup flour, a 1/2 cup brown sugar, a 1/3 cup regular sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 6 tablespoons of melted butter. And you need to let it cool down just a little bit. And I put a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and we're just gonna flip it together. We're not gonna beat it together. This is gonna be so good. When you bake off your bread, to make sure that the crumble is baked, you wanna make sure that you add maybe 2 to 3 minutes extra. It won't hurt your bread. And the way you can test it is just take a fork and pick off a piece of the crumble and test it to make sure that it feels done. Oh my gosh, this smells like heaven. With that pumpkin pie spice in there, this is gonna be so delicious. I got to the building, I heated up a full gallon of milk on the stove with some butter in it at a low heat. And then I got the hottest water out of the tap and filled that milk gallon jug and added that with water, hot water. And you just keep mixing, add some butter, keep mixing until it was completely mixed. And these mashed potatoes turned out really good. For the gravy, I added a flour roux and butter and the stock that I got off the turkeys. And, you know, I just alternated some turkey, some gravy, some turkey, some gravy until it was all hot and mixed into the roaster oven and full. As you can see here, I'm heating up green beans, just simple green beans. This brand was really good. Butter, Lowry seasoned salt, and you got it. As you see, we loaded up their plates with green beans, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and turkey gravy, and they had all of the rolls and pumpkin bread that they could want. It was a really successful lunch for these kids to send them on their way to go home to be with their families. I hope everyone has a safe and happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week.